This Dana White Breakfast Club appearance was an absolute nightmare. He started panicking, hyperventilating. When they started to ask the hard questions, he was stuttering and didn't know what to do. They absolutely cooked him. The first thing they interrogated him about was his relationship to Trump and all the horrible things Trump is doing. Now, if you're Dana White, you kind of have to expect them to ask you about Trump. I wasn't surprised they asked that question, but I was surprised at how unprepared Dana White was to answer the question. Now, another question they asked that I was actually shocked this time around they did ask was Dana White putting hands on his wife. They asked about Dana White slapping his wife on camera in that video. Now, another question that if you're Dana White, shocked they asked, but you have to be expecting it. I was also very shocked at how unprepared Dana White's answer was.
You know, you were on the Katie Miller podcast, and you said in regards to your relationship with Trump and has it cost the UFC business, you said, I don't know the answer to that question. I've gotten to a point in my life, especially after COVID and all that nutty that went on during that time, that I only want to be in business with and talk to people that I'm aligned with.
Well, I don't know about talk to people that I'm aligned, but I want to do business with people that I'm aligned with for sure.
So you're aligned with Trump on what exactly?
Well, Trump is a good friend of mine. I mean, I've been friends with him for 25 years. Mm-hmm. Friends. I mean, he just happened to become the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And he and I have never had he had us at the Trump Taj Mahal. When we first bought this company, the stigma that was attached to this thing, you can imagine, think about this. It wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. You as a grown adult didn't have the option to buy it on pay-per-view. Porn was on pay-per-view. The UFC was not allowed on pay. That was the uphill battle we had. So you can imagine venues didn't want us because these guys were like, what kind of people will show up to watch this kind of an event? And he had us at the Trump Taj Mahal for the first two fights. 30 and 31, UFC 30 and 31. And then after we did those two fights, first he showed up for the first fight of the night and stayed till the end for both events. And you think the Trump brand then and the UFC brand, and every good thing that ever happened to me in my career after that, he was always the first guy to reach out.
The answer at first appeared to be pretty concrete, and it felt like an answer that Dana White's PR team kind of wrote up for him. Hey, man, if anybody asks you about all the horrible things that Trump is doing and you being linked to it, just say he's your friend and you're just being loyal. But Charlamagne the God, and I have to give Charlamagne credit, and I don't give him credit enough, but Charlamagne the God has really sharpened up his skills, man. Charlamagne the God was able to talk Dana White into a corner. Because the thing is, Dana White and a lot of these dudes who are actually far right, they love to masquerade as middle of the road. I'm a moderate, you know what, I'm kind of left-leaning. But none of these dudes are left-leaning. None of these dudes are moderates. These dudes are alt-right, far-right extremists, all of them, right? But they love to pretend as if they're middle of the road. So Charlamagne the God does a really great job at challenging that. At challenging the, I'm left-leaning, I'm actually moderate, I don't know why they call me far-right. He challenged that, and he forced Dana White into a corner where Dana White had to do either one of two things. Admit Trump is actually horrible and that Trump is doing some evil things, or admit that you are a hypocrite.
So then when he was running in 16, he called me and asked me, would you speak for me at the Republican convention? And everybody told me not to do it. Don't do it. This is going to be bad. And he's never going to win and all that kind of stuff. But this was a guy that was always good to me and, always treated me well. And I did it.
I can understand that. That's your friend. But when your friend has a disapproval rating of 62%, right, record high, people say they don't like his handling of the Iran war, the economy, cost of living for people. Why can't you tell your friend he's failing the people? As a friend.
Well, he's the president of the United States.
Still your friend, though.
And yeah, I know. But, for me to get involved in, it's like if your friend had I'm sure people disagree with you that are friends with you, and everybody has friends that you just, doesn't mean you're not friends with them anymore. It doesn't mean that you.
Oh, no, I didn't say you shouldn't be friends with them. I just said, why can't you tell your friend he's failing the people? Because these are the same people who make UFC a success. Everyday working class people who support your sport are hurting.
You're never going to have a president that sits in the White House that everybody approves 100% of everything they do, and not everything is always going to be perfect. You're going to have some things that work out great and a lot of things that don't. It's no different than running a business or any other thing. nobody's ever going to be absolutely perfect
Oh, I agree.
when they're the president of the
I
United
agree.
States.
But can you tell your friend when he's
Yeah, we talk about a
when
lot
he's
of
not
things,
doing
but I don't try to get into.
Trust me, he just began stuttering. It's just heating up. He already started with the or, talking like Poetic Flacco. And bro, you don't stutter. That's me. The or. Nah, you don't stutter. Why you stuttering now? But it's just beginning. The weasel even try to go with the, I don't get into politics like that. Nah, nigga. Nah, bruh. You endorsed them. You co-signed them, right? You told your people to vote for him. They treating this like, listen, man, I don't agree with everything my friends do, but I still support. Bro, this is not like your friend stole, I don't know, like your friend robbed a bank or something. And you're like, say, man, I don't support my friend robbing a bank, but I'm going to still stand by him and support him if you need me. Your friend bombed a school filled with little girls in it and then lied about it before being forced to admit that, yeah, we did it, but it was an accident. No, your friend murdered hundreds of little girls. Niggas treat this shit like some normal shit as if they homie ain't the president committing a genocide. They treat this as if it's some normal stuff. No, it's not. This is not the normal circumstance where you could stand by, that's my homie, man, I don't agree with what he's, what? Your homie is protecting billionaire pedos by refusing to drop certain documents in the Epstein. Tell them to drop the Epstein files completely. Unredacted, tell them. Redact only the victims' names, they won't. So your homie is protecting pedos, your homie is bombing schools with little girls in a war that doesn't benefit us at all, but yet you think you can still get by with the, that's just my friend, man, I'm gonna support him if I can.
But don't be a glazer, though, Dana.
Don't be what?
A glazer. Like just somebody that just tells him he's great. A yes man, basically.
Yeah.
You gotta tell him when he's.
I don't think anybody's ever accused me of being a yes man.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not an overly political person either.
Are you part of the MAGA movement culturally? Do you align with their ideologies and their values?
You know, I consider myself right down the middle or leaning a little liberal, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks I'm some far right guy because of our relationship.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Most CEOs try to stay politically neutral to protect the brand. You almost seem kind of like proud to be political, I guess.
Not proud to be political. I mean, I'm just saying that this guy is my friend, and nothing is perfect. And whoever is the next president, right or left, isn't going to be perfect either.
People say that you're the reason why a lot of young male voters, because of you have seen everything that you have, voted for Trump, and that was something that, like, even if you didn't mean to do, it was widely talked about, and you still leaned into helping his popularity in the space.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But that gets political then.
Yeah, I guess.
So you're responsible for the high tariffs and the high inflation costs, and
I guess so. I guess if that's the way you want to look at it,
for people
it's all my fault.
No, I'm just saying you're responsible for people's healthcare getting cut. I'm just saying, like, that's what you're essentially saying.
Okay.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't. That's not the way I look at it, but I guess I could see why you would look at it that way, and you could, frame it like that.
I'm not even overly political myself, but some of these issues you can't be offended on. You just can't be, man. A school of little girls got bombed. They first started to lie and say, oh, it's not our missile. Once it was confirmed it was our missiles that did it, now all of a sudden, well, it's a mistake. No, somebody got to be held accountable for it. Somebody got to go to jail for these war crimes. And if you're somebody who's seen these things go on and seen like casualties like this and seen little girls get murdered over a war we have no business even participating in, and you sit by and you say, well, I also see the good in, you're just evil, to be honest, right? So people like Dana White, they're despicable, they're evil, they're disgusting. Now they moved on and they began to ask Dana White about the video that dropped of him slapping the living ish out of his wife. Now, Dana White had a PR answer prepared, but they didn't turn off the heat. Dana White, when they began to ask more questions, Dana White started fumbling, started scraping, started panicking, started stuttering. They really got the best of him with this exchange.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Was there a conversation with your sponsors or anybody on the business side when that video went viral of you and your wife in the club?
Yeah.
And with the slapping, with you slapping her slapping you?
Yeah.
When they reached out to you, what did they, like, how did that conversation go?
We didn't have any sponsor problems during that. I think that my wife and I jumped on that immediately. And again, that was more of we had to deal with our kids
But you did.
I did.
Do you think being the boss protected you from consequences
No.
that employees or athletes
No,
would survive?
definitely not.
No, definitely, Dana. Come on.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You made the choice publicly not to excuse yourself from the brand. You
Chose
said
publicly to not what?
to excuse yourself or give yourself
Like
up. You
nobody
said
can
what?
fire you.
100%.
Yeah, like
well,
what?
listen, there's a board of directors. There's there's other people that are involved that could have pushed for that, but yeah, I think that, and obviously they think too, it would have hurt the company more if I did step away.
And you've disciplined fighters for public behavior that was unbecoming to the company before, right?
Well, I mean, I'm probably the most lenient, the most lenient guy in sports when it comes to dealing with, whether it's free speech or bad things that happen. And, I'm in the fight business. It's not like I run Microsoft. You know what I mean? So,
What was the,
So what standard did you hold yourself to in that moment?
yeah, listen, obviously that's not, that's not what, it was.
You talking like me. You was talking perfectly. They get to asking, okay, you put hands on your wife. Now, if your fighters did it, what would their consequences be? You would usually kick them out of the UFC, right? You would, deliver some stiff consequences against them. Well, what were the consequences you delivered upon yourself? Then you said, well, I would do this to them because, they didn't meet the standard of the UFC. Okay, then what standard did you break? What were your consequences? And his PR team didn't prepare him for this. His PR team didn't give him a good answer because there is no good answer. There is no good answer for you put hands on your wife. You suffered zero consequences for it. You didn't even get a layoff or a suspension. You didn't even give yourself a 1-week suspension away from the company. You said that, again, if your fighters did this, they will put the integrity of the brand at risk and there will be consequences. But yet you're saying when you do it and being the face of the brand doing this, there's no consequences at all. Well, what type of standard are you holding yourself to? And he gets a fumbling and stuttering. And I understand that somebody who stutters myself just naturally, there is no good answer for this. Charlamagne the God really did a great job at boxing this man in.
Yeah, I mean, it's as bad as it could get. I mean, I hold myself to, I would never in a million years think that was going to happen. And I say this all the time. Nobody knows you better than your kids do. And, your kids, whoever you really are, your kids see it. They hear it, everything that goes on at home. And,
How did they react to that incident?
My oldest son didn't talk to us for like 4 days. We had to, and
how old was he at the time?
huh?
How old was your oldest son at the time?
He was in college, so he was 19 probably. Yeah.
Wow.
19, 20. And we the first thing that her and I did was handle the situation with the kids. And then obviously I had to handle the business side of the whole thing, but yeah, we handled the kids first. Tell you, before that happened, I would have told you there's never that would never happen to me, and there will never be a scenario that could ever play out where I would be a part of that. It would just never happen. And it did.
You know,
And you have to, I mean, if that's who you are and that's what you do and that's what you've done and that's normal to you, then you don't feel the way that I feel about it. I'm trying to explain this to you in the best way possible, So as a young man,
But this man was trying his hardest to swim, man. Shout out to Charlamagne the God, man. This was a fantastic performance, bro. I give it to you, man. This was a fantastic performance, bro. Had this man on a pressure cooker for like a solid 15 minutes, bro. Couldn't dance. He tried to get away. They just cornered him, bro. Shout out to Charlamagne, man. Dana White, listen, I ain't got nothing personal against Dana White. For the most part, I don't think Dana White is a terrible human being. I think a lot of these dudes, they get in bed with the devil and they really don't know how to get out of it. All right. They get, in cahoots with some very, very, very bad people, man. And, they essentially feel stuck. And that's where I think Dana White is, man. But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys feel about this? Y'all think Dana White got a point, or y'all think Dana White is an absolute sellout? Let me know, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here or here or here on my screen to find out how Akash just quit his podcast and why I think that's one of the dumbest decisions he could ever make, and it will ultimately ruin his life. I'm going to see you guys in this Akash and Flagrant video. If you want to support, send me a hype. I get a notification for who sent me a hype. So please, 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 please send me a hype. That's the best way to push my videos in the algorithm. I'm going to see you guys in this Akash video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.